Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Welcome to the Actor's Tools for Calming the Mind. My name is David Lozano, and I am the Executive Artistic Director of Academia Theater. And we're going to go through some techniques for finding calm, centering, and relaxing into the present moment today. And these are based on techniques that I've been using for about 20 years, based on the work that I did with Jeffrey Farrell, who's now a yoga instructor at Park Cities Yoga. He's the owner of Park Cities Yoga. Also with Alicia Martinez Alvarez, the general director of the Laboratorio de la Máscara out of Mexico City, and with Fred Kerchak, the writer and performer of many incredible one-person shows, and also my professor at the University of Texas at Dallas. So we're going to go through these techniques, and hopefully they can provide some opportunities for you to also practice and relax into the present moment. So we're going to wait a moment for people to log on so we can get started with everyone in attendance. So we're going to wait, I guess, let's say about 2 more minutes. Okay. But thanks for joining. I'm actually going to see if I can add some light in here. I found the room with the most light in the house. So I'm going to turn on a lamp, see if that will help. I don't know how much that helps. Let me see if I bring the computer closer. Okay. So these are things that I've been turning to regularly over the years. I would say that uh, the week after the pandemic was announced, uh, I was at home alone. Frida was actually in Mexico City. Frida, my wife, who's also a company member of Academia. And the week after the pandemic was announced, I was exhausted. I mean, I've been working so hard this year, and Academia Theater was really running like a machine. But we were working long hours, putting together multiple projects, planning the next season, and then the pandemic was announced, and the state of emergency throughout the country was announced. Then in Dallas, and we canceled a collaborative workshop with the Laboratorio de la Máscara in Mexico City, which was very difficult to cancel. A group that some of you may have seen us perform with, and and the work that it took to coordinate the shutdown of the company and to close our offices was extremely intense. And the following week, I was exhausted, and I rested a lot. I was pretty much operating, other than not working, I was operating and living the way I had been living before. I wasn't really watching what I was eating. I wasn't exercising at that time. I had been working so hard that I had not been giving myself attention in those areas. So after about a week of recovering from the workload before the shutdown, I started to just really listen to how I felt, and I started thinking about how could I find a sense of calm while I'm watching the news. I'm taking stock of everything that's happening in the world, that's happening in our city, and that's happening to my organization while my wife is in another country. So I just began to look at some of the resources that I've been utilizing for my entire adult life. And these are based in the tools of the performer. I also began practicing yoga again. I started meditating again. And this is all related to the preparation that I have cultivated as an actor. And when I'm directing a piece, I often will utilize these techniques to prepare the ensemble for work. Again, this is just preparation. This is what we do before we begin working. But I offer it today so that people may be able to utilize some of these tools. So I appreciate everyone joining us for this first online course that's offered by Academia Theater. It is the Actor's Tools for Calming the Mind. And I am the Executive Artistic Director, David Lozano. And so we're testing things out. Yeah, like I said, this is the room with the most light in the house. So, and this is the position that I thought would work out best. We may change things around a little bit on Thursday, so we're learning as we go along. So I think it's about time for us to begin. So I want everyone to know that we're so happy to offer this free course. We would really appreciate any sort of contribution that you could make. If you go to academiatheater.org and go to the donate page, please make a contribution as we begin making plans for further online programming that will be priced according to justice pricing. So people will have the opportunity to pay full price, but also to pay what you can. So these are programs that we're going to be unfolding over the next, a few weeks. So hold on one second. Okay, there was an echo. And we're also going to have a fundraising campaign, the Academia Artists Relief Fund, that is taking place until May 5th. And this will go to the artists who have lost work over the past month and for the upcoming few months. So this is an important fundraising campaign to put money in the pockets of artists who are also going to be important parts of our business community and our economy moving forward. So if you can make a contribution, we'd really appreciate it. So when we begin working with as an ensemble, we begin with becoming present. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do is just make the transition from where you came from to this present moment. So you may have been cooking, you may have been working, you may have been talking to a family member, you may have been watching the news. So allow yourself to make the mental transition from that space into this present moment. And allow yourself to observe your own body in this space, in this moment. It's just very simple. So this is the first step. And as I simply slow down, I begin to want to take a nice big deep breath. And this deep breath it takes place when I recognize a little bit of tension in my body, especially in my torso or chest area. And as I want to relax more, I have this impulse to take a nice deep breath. So when you have that impulse, follow it. We don't want to take too many deep breaths because that could actually get our heart rate pumping even faster. But a nice deep breath like that will help us settle into the present moment. So this is the first thing that we do. The actors will stand in a circle, and the first thing I'll ask everyone to do is just to make the transition from where you came from into the present moment. Observe your body in this space, in this moment. And allow yourself to take a nice deep breath. And on the exhale, allow yourself to release tension. It's very simple. And that's the first step. In fact, you could do this many times in the day at different moments. I was working with a colleague and we were co producing, and he said to me, when you go into this meeting, stop, stand still, take a nice deep breath, release the tension on the exhale, and go right into the meeting. So, what I'm doing is I'm releasing tension. I'm also creating breathing capacity within my lungs and my chest. So, the nice breath, the inhalation of tension, and the exhalation of release, and the exhalation and release of tension allows me to relax. And it also allows me to cultivate more breath capacity. Good. So I come back to this because I'm on this journey with you. We're on this path towards staying healthy, keeping our communities safe, and we're constantly thinking about the future. However, this is an opportunity for us to rest in the present moment. And as a performer, to become awake in the present moment, to become aware in the present moment. So we're going to begin after this initial instruction. And what we're going to look at 3 levels of awareness. And this is something that I learned from Alicia Martinez Alvarez in Mexico City. And this is something that she teaches us when we're working with a mask. So when you perform with a mask, like the clown, you are aware of yourself. You're very aware of your impulses. You're aware of your body in space. And that is level 1 of awareness. Level 2 of awareness is the actor aware of the other actors, the ensemble, the constellation of performers. So we're simultaneously in level 1 and level 2. What makes the work with the mask so interesting and invigorating is that we have the 3rd level of awareness that includes the space that we're in. And as performers, this includes the audience. So it allows us to be present with ourselves, with the partners, and with the audience. And when we're calm and aware, instead of full of tension and speed, we're able to have authentic communication on all 3 levels. With ourselves, with our partners, which is the essence of good acting, and also with the audience, which cultivates a living performance space in which the audience is part of the experience. So if you've seen our clown performances, you've seen us interact this way. So check in with your breath. So we'll look at level 1. Level 1 is very it's very simple. We often begin standing, but we're going to be seated. So seated, just allow yourself to observe your bottom on the chair. The bottom, the pressing down of weight through your bottom actually holds you up. So just observe the parts of your body, primarily your bottom, maybe some parts of your legs, maybe your back if you're leaning against the back of a chair. Observe your body that makes contact with the chair. Good. Now observe your feet. Observe your feet that make contact with the floor. Or if you're wearing shoes, your feet that make contact with the inner soles of your shoes, that touches the floor. So you can see we're slowing our process down so we don't rush. As an actor, it's very important that we don't rush. Sometimes it's important for us to go fast, but that doesn't mean we rush. So to cultivate this practice of not rushing, sometimes it does mean that we slow down. And slowing down allows us to be present in this space a little bit more easily. Allows us to acknowledge the moment in time that is now. It allows us to awaken our awareness so that we're aware of what's happening now. So in this first level of awareness, in a way, we are listening to ourselves. And it's the first dialogue that an actor will have when we're in preparation. So we observe our bottom that makes contact with the chair or stool, your legs, your back, your arms that are making contact with whatever you're sitting in. And as you can see, I'm regularly taking a breath because I'm gradually opening up my breathing capacity and relaxing tension in my chest and my upper back, really my entire body. And I'm extremely aware, becoming more aware of the present moment, of this space, and my relationship with this screen here, and all of you who are out there. So I bring my attention to the bottom, the parts of my body that make contact with the chair. I bring my attention, my mind's eye, without looking at my feet, to the soles of my feet that make contact with the floor. I'm wearing flip-flops, so I'm going to take off my sandals. So I can feel the soles of my feet touch the floor. Now, in my mind's eye, I am going to visualize my skeleton. I'm going to visualize my feet, the skeleton of my feet, my ankles, the skeleton of my legs, the fibula, the knees, the femur. So I'm just observing the skeleton, the pelvis. I'm not going to say the scientific term, but the butt bone. Butt bones here that I'm seated on. So I can observe the skeleton of my legs from my feet through the ankles, the fibula, knees, femur, pelvis. Nice and easy. So this isn't a solemn experience. It is one in which we're avoiding hyperactivity. So I'm not going to say you need to be completely still, but you want to avoid, hyperactive movements, nervous movements. So I'm observing my skeleton from my feet through the legs to the pelvis. Now I'm going to observe my spine. And I'm going to observe the vertebra in my spinal cord. And visualize my vertebra stacked one on top of the other, so that my spine is nice and tall. It's not tense, so I'm not tensing, but it's nice and tall. So I'm trying to do all of this with minimal tension. Of course, we have to exert strength to maintain this upright position, but we want to use as little tension as possible. Then the neck, I observe the neck and the skull. So I'm observing my skeleton from my feet through my ankles, my legs, my pelvis, my spine, my neck, and my skull. These bones stacked one on top of the other. Now I want you to imagine that the spine is like a coat rack. nice and tall. Now I want you to visualize that all of your muscles are like wet coats on a coat rack. So we're going to scan our muscles from the top of our head, from the crown of our head, all the way down to our feet, releasing tension. But the skeleton, which is upright like a coat rack, is holding it up. So as these muscles fall, as they release tension, the skeleton remains upright. So let's observe the muscles at the crown of our head, releasing them, the forehead, the sides of the head, the eyebrows, the eye sockets. If you sense any tension, you breathe it in and you breathe it out. Observe your sinuses, your cheeks, your jaw. Releasing tension so that the skeleton, which is upright like a coat rack, is holding these wet coats that fall like a coat rack, these muscles that are like wet coats that fall on a coat rack. So observe the muscles that are released from the crown of your head, through your face, through your jaw, to your neck, the muscles in your around your neck, your vocal cords, releasing tension. Observe the muscles in your shoulder area, releasing them. The muscles below your collarbones. Strangely, we cultivate a lot of tension here, so it's an opportunity to release them. Your chest, release the tension in your chest, the area of your heart, your upper back, the midsection of your back, your diaphragm, your stomach area and abdomen, your lower back, your waist. Taking a nice breath, breathing in any tension and breathing it out. Your pelvic area, your stomach area. I think there's an echo. Hold on. Okay. Your thighs, your knees, your calves, releasing tension down your calves, your ankles and feet. So your skeleton is, even though you're seated, and especially from your pelvic area, through your spine, through your neck and skull, it is tall like a coat rack. But your muscles fall like wet coats on a coat rack, releasing tension. Good. And now you allow yourself to release any thoughts of the past, any thoughts of the future, and any preoccupations of the present. So here you are in the present moment, in this space. And we can take this further. We could, a complete level 1 of awareness here, but we're going to keep going. Allow yourself to recognize, acknowledge your emotions, whatever they may be. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to change them. You don't have to have a concept of Zen. Just acknowledging your emotions, whatever they are. Good. And now we're just going to allow our attention to go to our breath. As we let go of thoughts of the past, thoughts of the future, and preoccupations of the present, we let our attention go to our breath as we naturally breathe in and breathe out. Sometimes we make our breath, we do too much work for us. And in fact, what we're going to allow our breath to do is just simply let it breathe naturally. Let it be. If your spine is nice and tall, your vertebrae stacked one on top of the other, through your neck and your skull. If your muscles are relaxed like wet coats on a coat rack. You've acknowledged your emotions, whatever they are. you can allow your breath to naturally cycle. And you breathe in, you breathe out. You can liken it to a Ferris wheel, where you breathe in as the Ferris wheel rises. It reaches the point where it no longer inhales. And on the exhalation, the Ferris wheel comes down. And the bottom point is where you no longer exhale. These are your apneas. And this is the essence of meditation. So here we are, finding a union with our attention, our mind, our body, and our emotions. And this is what we call presence, the presence of the actor. We can talk about presence in terms of, wow, what an incredible presence, which is another subject for the performer. But we can also talk about presence, which is awareness through the mind of the body and our emotions. And we can have presence in our daily lives. And in fact, it's the most genuine way to live. It's a challenging aspiration, but this is what can help us actually relax into the present moment. Good. So this is level 1. Now I'm going to, I want to check the time. Oh wow, time is flying. Well, I think that's good for today. So I do want to remind everyone I'll be back on Thursday, and I think we'll move this a little bit more quickly along, and we could probably take another step forward, and we'll probably get on our feet a little bit and go through a similar process and begin connecting with the body. But even now, we already connected with the body here. So this has been hopefully a valuable experience for you. But this is part of the process. We took about 20 minutes to go through this exercise. We may take this time when we're working with actors to do this, but but we'll go much more quickly. So I wonder if anyone out there has any questions. If anyone wants to ask a question, let me know. Just make a comment on this video, and I'd be happy to answer it. And the next time we get together, we can also go into level 2 of awareness and level 3, which is very valuable. When we're present, we're aware of ourselves. We're aware of others and the other performers, and we're aware of the space. So right now, Frida's in the kitchen, and she's cutting fruit. She's going to prepare a juice. And so this process, even though our goal is to be still and at peace, I'm not trying to control the moment. And so I'm allowing the world to move as it would, even though what I am doing is I am awakening my awareness and becoming more present. And I'm loosening my grip of control on the world. And as a performer, this is what we're also seeking. Because as a performer, when we're in this state, we can listen genuinely and listen to our impulses genuinely. And when we're present, we can also filter our acting impulses and choose what we feel is the best one. An audience member could have a reaction. We can experience it, have an impulse, filter through our best choice in the moment, and respond And this is what one of my great teachers would call playing the audience like an instrument. So this is the work that we do when we're preparing for rehearsals and performance. So, like I said, if anyone has a question out there, please let me know, and let us know what you thought of the workshop. You can send me an email at david@kadamiatheater.org. You can send us an email at info@kadamiatheater.org, and you can ask us any questions. This is a practice that can move into many different directions. Maybe you would like to explore meditation. Maybe you would like to practice yoga. Maybe you would like to look at other ways in which the practices of art can move into health and well-being, which are things that we're looking at. I would like to let everyone know that we're planning some workshops and courses online with artists and activists. First up, we have Stephanie Tovar, the owner and CEO of Humana Homies, and she is a yoga instructor, and she will be leading a program with our staff member, education coordinator Cheyenne Raquel Farley, and they will be leading a course called Stories That Heal, which is an opportunity for us in an intimate setting on a Zoom class of maximum 8 to 10 people, for us to recall those moments, those artistic moments in our lives, those moments in which we've experienced art either as creators or as lovers of art, and that have given us fulfillment and possibly healing. And so we can acknowledge those moments in our lives in which art has given us the juice to live fully. I know that that's what I've experienced in my life, that art has done that for me. And this is what I've been doing over the past few weeks, is accessing those resources and tools that I've had to find fulfillment. And so Stephanie and Cheyenne are going to invite people to look back in their art making careers or their lives as art lovers, and bring to the group a work of art and share what it means to them and why it brings fulfillment and or healing. And then as a group, the group will take stock of what we've learned. And then there will be opportunities to take that out into the world, so that art is a daily practice. And that art is truly what can cultivate vitality and well-being in individuals, which I think is what we really need right now. So that is Stories That Heal. We will have an orientation on May 6th, and the class will take place on May 13th. So please go to our website. There's justice pricing, in which if you have the opportunity, you can pay full price, or you can pay what you can among those price options there. And then we have another great course taught by Academia's former curator of community action, Ernest McMillan, a legendary activist in Dallas and a teacher of many things. He is going to lead a course with a panel of great thinkers called A Light for Yourself and for Others, in which he will look at cultural traditions, philosophical traditions, and spiritual traditions over the course of 6 classes. And as a group, they're going to ask questions about what practices and traditions are out there that have sustained the human spirit over the ages. So this is an exciting course. We're still working out that schedule, but stay tuned on our website and take a look. And finally, I want to mention that if you enjoyed the course, please spread the word. We have another class on Thursday in which we'll take this course just a step further. And then I'll be back in a few weeks to do this again. So please spread the word if this is helpful, and join us on Thursday if you'd like to advance. Academy of Theater is also engaging in a fundraising campaign in which we are raising money for our artists who lost work over the past month and in the upcoming months. So far, we have raised $17,250 approximately, and our goal is 35,000. So, but any contribution that you can make, please go ahead and make it, because it will all help the artists, and every single dollar will go to the artists to provide them support in this challenging time. So please go to our website and the donate page. Well, I think this is going to be. I think we're going to wrap up if there are no questions out there. It's been good for me to uh, to step into this, or to sit into this. I am on this journey with you. I am also working with pressure and tension and long term planning. But here is an opportunity for me to be present and to be okay in the present moment, and even more to feel good in the present moment, and to feel good about myself, my body, and the clarity of mind. So again, this work is about finding the union between the mind, body, and the emotions. So I think unless again, if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And feel free to reach out to us on Facebook. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this. Please spread the word, and stay in touch. We have more programming that we're going to keep unrolling. And oh yeah, tomorrow I will be involved in a Q&A with Benjamin Espino and Rosalinda Luna from the Latino Cultural Center tomorrow, on their profile page, and I think their event. I'll clarify that. But take a look at the Latino Cultural Center's profile page, and there's an event in which I will be featured as a guest, and we're going to talk about what do the arts look like during this period of transition. How long is this going to take? What do the performing arts look like? How do actors and performers gather together? How will audiences gather together? What does this mean? What does this look like in terms of funding for the arts? Because these are big questions that we're all going through. So join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. and go to the Latino Cultural Center Facebook page, and check us out tomorrow at 2 p.m. And we'd love to have you. And finally, join us again on Thursday. I'll try to situate myself a little bit better so we can have a little bit more light. But just consider this the beta run of the Actors Tools for Calming the Mind. So thank you so much. See you on Thursday. Take good care of yourselves.